Good afternoon, I'm Julian and my guru is the Stanus mole. Its prey are invertebrates such as earthworms and its predators consist of mammals and birds like cats and owls. Tunnel consists of the nest chamber, larder where it stores food, feeding chamber where it forages for food, and the permanent tunnel where it will go back and forth to look for food. The exit of the tunnel would often lead to a water body. It is U-shaped to prevent water from leaking into the tunnel. During colder seasons, its prey will go deeper into the ground, hence it would dig a deeper tunnel to hunt. It is also thermoconforming, so it will adapt to its surrounding temperature to survive. The growth of its adulthood focuses mainly on the development of its appendages, taking the form and stretching to the front. It senses its surrounding through 22 appendages on its nose that are mirrored from the center. Longer rays are used to forage and the shortest 11 rays are used to identify. The brain is also categorized such that each appendage has an allocated part in the brain. Looking into the movement of the paws and appendages, when it's foraging in the air, the rays are in a grasping motion, while on ground, the nose will adopt a stomping motion. Front paws are also pressing the ground and pulled back, pushing the mole forward. As it enters the water, 8, 9, and 10 rays are dipped in it to get used to the water, and then it will submerge its whole nose and dive in. Bubbles are blown to forage for food. The bubbles are aimed at an object. When it's blowing out the bubble, the appendages will spread out. The older molecules will then be mixed into the bubble, and when it's being sucked back, the rays will close back in two. The bubbles will come in contact with the 11 rays during the process, and you would identify if the food is at or near the object the bubble was directed at. Movement made by blowing the bubble is used to prevent the bubbles from floating away. The high content of hemoglobin in the body allows it to stay on low oxygen and high CO2 for a longer period of time, which allows it to stay underwater for a longer period of time. When the mole found food, its protruding front teeth would hook it up, and its head would be in a bobbing motion while its paws are scraping off the dirt on its prey. Thymus organs are clustered on the ray would allow it to sense when an object is being pressed down. The contour creator would trigger certain nerve endings which would transmit the information to its brain. Spines, cuticle segments, and spikes are some of the common contours on its prey that the mole looks out. The stamping motion used when the foraging leads me to my first model, where I tried to mimic the movement of the appendages and how it will allow it what touches to reach the brain faster. The tubes represents the rays while the strings represents the nerves. I dipped it in colored water in a stamping motion. The second model is mimicking how the imus organ works. The hexagon wrapped in stockings are the imus organs and the springs are the nerve endings. It will transfer the dense creator on the hexagons into the stocking underneath that represents the brain. In my third model, I added more hexagons to see if it will work on a larger scale. A memory foam is also added such that the transfer lasts longer. In my fourth model, foam is replaced with sand and I placed model 1 on top. I experimented with different contours using the shapes that the most used to identify its prey. Model 1 mimics how it swims. Horizontal ice cream sticks being the limbs and verticals are the handles. It paddles in a synchronized way where the left limb will push the water back first and followed by the right limb. The second model is digging motion with one of the front paws. It will be shoving and pushing the soil back.